Hi everyone! In this video, I'll show you how I make these gypsum pots. It's super easy to create them and the result is both decorative and practical. At the end of the video, I'll show you different ways to use them, and we will also do a quick crush test to see how strong these pots actually are. Let's get started. First, I gather all the materials. For this tutorial, I'll be using my DIY kit, which you can find in my online shop. The link is in the video description. But you can also collect all materials yourself, if you prefer. Links to the materials are also in the video description. So, we will need silicone mold or molds. I will be using two different ones. Silicone molds are reusable, so you can cast pots multiple times. A measuring cup. We will be using a milliliter scale. Gypsum. I'm using modeling gypsum or plaster of Paris. Soap water. I'll explain more about soap water a bit later. Stick for mixing. And gloves. Now all materials that we need are on the table. Make sure to wear gloves when working with gypsum to protect your hands from drying out. The first step is to measure how much water you will need for your molds. To do that, pour water into your molds until they're full, and then pour that water into a measuring cup. The number of milliliters you see in your measuring cup is exactly the amount of water you need to make the right amount of gypsum mixture. I had approximately 160 milliliters in my measuring cup, and I decided to go for 200 milliliters just to make sure I have enough gypsum mixture in the end. It's better to have a bit more of the mixture than a bit less of it. Now that we know the amount of water we need, we can calculate the amount of gypsum. I will make my mixture in 1.5 to 1 ratio of gypsum to water. It means that for my 200 milliliters of water, I will need 300 milliliters of gypsum. To measure 300 milliliters of gypsum, you can also use a measuring cup. I used to make my molds with 1 to 1 ratio of gypsum to water, but recently I've switched to 1.5 to 1 ratio because the gypsum sets way quicker this way, and I think it's easier to achieve a smooth surface. Now, I let the gypsum sit in water for about 2 minutes. You will see how gypsum slowly sinks in the water. In the meantime, let's prepare our molds by spraying them with soap water. You can make soap water by adding a few drops of dishwashing detergent into the water and mixing it very well. Before spraying my molds with soap water, I make sure they're completely dry from the previous step, where we measured the right amount of water for the gypsum mixture. Then I shake the bottle with spray water and lightly mist the surface of my molds, just a few pumps. Shake off any excess water and set the molds aside. Spraying molds with soap water makes the release of air bubbles easier, which helps to achieve a smoother surface. It is an optional step, but I always do it to make sure the surface of my pots is as smooth as possible. Now we can return to our gypsum mixture. Using a mixing stick, stir the gypsum mixture. Make sure to mix very well until there are no lumps at all. This is how consistency should look like. Now that our gypsum mixture is ready, we can fill our molds up. I recommend doing it gradually. First, fill the mold to 1/3, then tap and vibrate very well to release all the bubbles. As you can see, I do it very thoroughly and for quite some time. Then I fill molds to 2/3 and tap and vibrate very well again. Finally, I fill my molds completely and tap once more to make sure there are no bubbles at all. Releasing bubbles is a very important step, and it's way easier to release all the bubbles if you fill molds gradually. That's why I recommend doing it this way. Now leave your mold undisturbed for at least 8 hours. Drying time also depends on the temperature and humidity level in your room. Quick tip: if you also want to use your measuring cup later and you still have a bit of gypsum mixture in it, pour gypsum leftovers into plastic bag, then wipe the measuring cup with a paper towel, and then the plastic cup can be washed as usual and reused afterwards. I waited for about 24 hours. The surface of my pots was still a bit moist, which is normal. The pots will dry completely after they are out of the mold. So I proceeded with releasing. The easiest way to release a pot from this mold is to turn sides inside out first, and then pull out the remaining part. After that, the mold can be returned to its normal position and reused later. The release of other pot was a bit more difficult because of its shape. I first tried to pull the sides a bit down, but then I ended up using the same technique. I turned the sides inside out and then pulled out the middle part. I wanted to be quite careful with my pots because the surface was still moist, as I mentioned before, so I really took my time and released them very slowly. Now our pots are ready. I would only wait till the surface is completely dry to the touch. The color might also change a bit when they're completely dry, and the strength of the material will also be different. While pots are a bit moist, the material is also more fragile. Once the pots are completely dry, you can use them in any way you want. Here are some of the ways to use pots: as jewelry holders, as decoration pieces, candle holders, or even as candle vessels. I waited a couple of days to allow my pots to dry completely and to gain some strength. And now we can do a crush test and see if they survive.